the middle meeting.
Mm.
If you want to stick around, it's not too late.
3 minutes late already. Step right up, Jimmy. Let's start with your project updates.
As you guys can see, obviously, Family Dollar's shelled up and hopefully going. Get opened up here before the first of the year, I think is kind of their game plan. Residential still kind of chugging along at their pace as they go. We have had a couple people back out on some of the other commercial contracts, which, I mean, in this market is kind of expected.
So, biggest surprise to all of us, I think, is the pub.
Yeah, well, I mean,
If it doesn't make money, I get it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, thankfully we've had 3 different groups interested. 2 of them have toured it so far. And
Good for you.
just to buy it outright?
no,
Or just to run it?
to lease it, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep, so
Gotcha.
I mean, it's, I can go into food prices, all that and everything, but it's tough to make a restaurant work unless you're working it yourself, I think.
Yeah. Give you my comments on that later, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not the venue. Anybody got questions on him, on updates on everything? You wanna know more? How's he treating AmeriCorps?
Good.
I heard they are talking to Rob, he's quite happy with you guys.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, no, I think we have a good working relationship.
That's exactly what he said, so.
I think, they're hoping, I think they're talking, the NCCC, which they said they're adding another, group called like Force Protection Corps or something that deals, I think, with like, forest fire support and stuff like that, and so they're lobbying to have that, I think they have a tour November 1st with that group, cause they're gonna try and utilize one of the other campuses throughout the country, and they're kinda hoping to get some more groups through the campus, which more jobs and.
Are you still planning on moving them all into Maine, or if you
If, if we can find a purpose for Palmer, or if they wanna expand, I mean,
you're not gonna fit them all into Maine?
no.
So, yeah. It's your stuff to decide.
Yeah, I know,
So,
that's just trying to find the right fit for everything, it's challenging right now.
yeah, it's still a good thing for community to have them here, for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we enjoy having them here. So, it's gonna rush us right into your request there, kid.
Yeah, so we're just looking at cleaning up the development agreement a little bit, as far as, one of the main things are the listed minimum improvements, which is, exhibit D in there. It still has, says residential lots to build 4-plex units. It doesn't really spell out anything as far as single-family housing. It has 1 commercial lot. Some of the Palmer stuff, that deal fell through, which, I mean, it may come back onto the table. But we just wanna get some of the, we're to 4 commercial lots now, get that stuff listed and spelled out. I think that's one of the main things to clean up. As far as like timeline goes, obviously things are not moving quite at the speed that we had anticipated back in 2018-19 when kind of the basis of this agreement was set up. So we're probably looking at a timeline extension. It's kind of up in the air now, but I wanted to get your guys' feedback before we go to our attorney and propose an amendment and see if there's any questions or concerns from the council about any of this stuff.
One of the main ones I have is, obviously, we spent a lot of money getting that developer's agreement going the first time.
Yep.
And be sticklers. We're just say, nope,
Yep.
we got it, we're gonna keep it, that's what it is. You guys agreed to it then, and there's nothing that's stopping us from saying to do it.
Correct.
And I know I've had this conversation with a couple of the council members on other opportunities about what's gonna happen when we come to the date.
Yep.
What's gonna happen on January 25th? What is it, January 1st, 2025?
January 1, 2025.
Right.
I think, isn't it December 31st as far as the minimum improvements?
Okay,
December
whatever.
31st.
We're talking a day.
That's
But
for,
anyhow.
that's for,
Yeah.
So come January 1st, 2026,
Yep.
it's all ours again, if you don't meet all those requirements.
Yep.
And we very well within our guns to stick there.
Yep.
Is that beneficial to us? Do we want to become landowners again? I don't know, that's up to the council to decide, but I bet I get a lot of, just like he did. No, we don't.
Well, yeah,
So-
I mean, like I said, we inherited a lease from the state that the state was operating at a deficit of about $30,000 per month.
Yeah. And I get that.
Yeah, I mean, the lease isn't the golden goose on the thing. I mean, it's a good thing for the community and everything. It's good to have.
That's a good thing for you too. Bring you some
I
money.
mean, as far as profit wise, it's no golden ticket. I can tell you that much. The amount of money that goes into that place.
And eventually you'll get all that caught up, because you've been improving everything, you get all that done at the beginning, and pretty soon those
Yeah.
costs don't add up.
That's the thing
No,
about
it's
those,
okay.
those old buildings. It's always
That's why we didn't want to be AmeriCorps landlords.
exactly. But
So-
yeah, that's not here.
Dennis is back here laughing at me, but he was with us the entire time going through that.
Yeah.
Council jump in anytime. Before we would consider doing any changes to it, we'd have to, in my opinion, they can decide whatever they want, that any cost associated with changing the developer is gonna be borne by you guys.
Yeah.
That's just 100%. I wouldn't change that for the life of me.
Yeah.
And we'd wanna see what those proposals are before we
Yeah,
decided to.
yeah, and that's the purpose of this, is kind of just starting the discussion and
Yeah.
kind of telling you where we're at. I don't wanna all of a sudden blindly throw something at you guys and you go, well, what the heck is this? And like, we didn't even talk about any of this.
Yeah, but truth be told, we're doing exactly what we wanted to have happen. We got a new business out there, we got some homes out there, that's what we promised the Iowa Department of Finance, that's what was gonna happen, that's what we tried to do. So
Yeah.
now we would just like to generate more money for our safety building, which is the rest of that.
Yep, and I mean,
And I assume you're gonna wanna change the TIF to include them as single residential.
it'd be worth exploring, I think, definitely. I'm open to your guys' opinion.
That one, I don't even know how to tackle, Chris,
that's gonna be difficult to do without a total new agreement from our legal counsel. We're gonna either we had two choices, either stick with it or a total brand new developers agreement, and some items in it for the TIF, the clock's already started,
Yep.
and there's no way to rewind time back on some of these things. Is gonna be the issue as far as valuations, and the starting point of the valuation of where Larry had it, that's just the starting point. You can't include that, it has to be just the value added on top. So in other
Yeah.
words, there's no way for it to go to zero.
Yep.
It has to have actual starting valuation of when the agreement started
Are you talking on the main campus buildings now?
on the
Yeah.
campus itself.
Yeah, and that's one of our kind of points of contention, where the starting value of that campus should begin. Because I think when they had it assessed, when the state had it, it didn't matter if they had it assessed at $10 million or $1, you were still never gonna see a dime of property tax off that.
Right, and we have no control over that.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm
It's all
saying.
Larry, what he's gonna tell you is worth,
Yeah,
and I assume he's done that.
yeah, trust me, I have plenty of discussions with Larry about
You have.
all that stuff, but there's some things to explore there. I mean, it would obviously have to go through attorneys and people have to know what's legal to do, and Chris knows more about it than I do, for sure.
Yeah, those are just some of my concerns, because like I said, I would
Yeah.
love to generate more revenue to
Yeah.
get the safety thing going.
Yeah.
I don't know how that looks, and hopefully we can figure that out if we are gonna have to revamp something to make sure things happen. I wanna make sure that's getting taken care of in some form or fashion. So,
Right. There has to be some kind of investment there in order to generate the increment though.
yes. Because I hate to think that we're wasting all our time by holding on to that property and not getting a new safety services building, which we desperately need, so.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, things, as far as the commercial side, they're going slower than what we had hoped. We're thankful Family Dollar, you know, completed the contract and locked that one in. We've had, I think, 3 or 4 dropouts. We do have, the USDA has approached us about putting the building up, but that one's kind of a slippery slope, because if it's actually owned by them as a governmental organization, that doesn't generate any revenue, so, you know, we're trying to feel that out, but, I mean, it's not beneficial for us or for you guys if that building goes up on the land.
Good to know. So,
Right?
so I guess, in a nutshell, and we just need to know what your proposals are.
Yeah, our,
In black and white, I mean,
yep, and that's what I wanted to kind of bounce some of the ideas off and get the council's feelings about them before, you know, it just turns into throw something in front of everyone and then go back and forth a million times. I mean, knowing that, you know, we bear all the legal costs for any amendments.
yeah, that's a big one. So,
As far as, you know, timeline extension kind of thing for all that.
you gotta let us know what you're thinking,
Yep,
Yeah.
because I can't just leave it open-ended either.
yeah,
So-
yeah, I know.
So in other words, I think, Mr. Mayor, what you're trying to say is come back to the council and us with an actual full-fledged development plan with milestones. and
With a full amendment.
Yep, because if we have to call our attorney to look at it, and what is he? I started at $2,000 an
No,
hour.
he's $500.
Dog's getting more expensive.
Special rate. It is a special rate at $500 an hour.
Guess what, Jimmy, it's $2,000 an hour.
For Grove's classes.
Sure you wanna redo the developers agreement?
Yeah, I mean, well, this thing was all drafted, you know, pre-COVID, pre-interest rate.
Free everything.
Increases, you know, in the world that we're in today.
And we, like I said, I think Andrew and I have had the conversation since day one. He goes, what's gonna happen when they don't do it? I said,
Yeah,
that's gonna be up to us.
yep,
What do we wanna absorb as a city to come back? Maybe they're all for it, but I'm not looking to be a landlord. I'm not looking to be a developer.
it's not real fun. We had a steam line burst today that set off a sprinkler line at 4 o'clock this morning.
Cool.
That was fun. Blew a sprinkler head.
Yeah, you guys are old Brecky employees, you probably fix that right up though.
Yeah, still gotta get up here and do it.
Oh, I
Clean
thought
all
you
the
lived in
water
town.
up.
No,
What's that?
Dad that lives
Oh,
in
that's
town.
right, Jim lives.
Yeah, that's it's the joys of it, but yeah, so that's kind of our push for it, and we are taking a look at those 2 lots that run along G Avenue right there that we were, they're currently zoned out as residential lots. Be right next to the caretaker's house up
Oh,
the
yeah.
corner.
Yep.
The cost for getting sewer over to there is pretty prohibitive just for 2 lots. So we are looking at maybe putting a small cul-de-sac in that would back up to the houses along J. Is just an idea. It'd be somewhere where we could bring sewer up off of J, which would be closer and it's bare ground, not ripping the street up. And it would add some residential lots, which, you know, if we did
You're
go
gonna bring it clear up across the old track and everything to get to it?
yeah.
Behind
That's cheaper?
And tearing up. No, it'd be to the south of the Geo field.
I thought you had those, you know, I thought those were pre-sold or in agreement with the
Yeah.
builder for the builder to purchase.
If we're able to put the sewer in, which financially to sell 2 lots for $25,000 a piece and do $90,000 worth, it just doesn't
pencil out.
Doesn't make sense.
So if you did a cul-de-sac, you'd be looking at dividing into more lots.
We could get more lots, more bang for the buck, and if we got more lots in there, that would potentially, if we did go the TIF route for single family, it could play into that also and get more revenue.
Again, until we actually see.
Yeah, that's, like I said, just bouncing ideas kind of thing. I don't want anybody to be blindsided by.
Oh, hell, we're blindsided every day. What else you got on your list?
Yeah, we covered the assessment for that. Yeah, extending time period, base valuation for the campus, those are pretty much our big
Yeah,
points.
the valuation we don't control.
That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not gonna be our fight.
Yeah, yep,
That's you and Larry to go duke it out.
yeah.
It's
And
pretty scrappy.
I mean, that's probably something that, in the development agreement, we had the minimum assessed value, and we went back and forth on that. It's initially was, in the development agreement, it was set at 300,000 as a floor, but no one ever checked what they had it assessed at when the state had it, basically, and that was, like I said, it didn't matter if it was $1 or $10 million.
Larry's gonna do what Larry's gonna do.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
So basically, you have 3 or 4 main items you wanna get covered.
Yeah.
Time extension, valuation, which you're taking up with Larry,
Yep.
TIF relook at.
Yep. TIF, and then amending the minimum improvements stuff just to get it cleaned up.
Kids?
Bring us up with, that's what my recommendation
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I just wanna see.
You wanna see.
Yep. But nothing sounds too extreme to anyone, or anyone have any problems with just the base ideas of things?
I would ask that guy right there.
Any inputs?
He was instrumental in developing this thing, so. What do you think, Dennis?
Well, I think it's all, I think you have to look at the specifics like you're requesting. Sometime, of all the ones listed, seems like sometime extension might be the most reasonable thing they heard. You know?
Yeah, I was thinking the same on that, I mean.
Yeah, because we know lots of things have happened during the period of time.
You bet. We lost basically 2.5 years, I think, because of
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, so that's the big one. That was kind of an external thing almost.
That was not predictable.
But getting into the rest of it, again, it's a pretty complex process to try to change that, as I understand it.
Yes, because everything is tied into one
Yeah, it all
another,
Right.
really in
changes.
three major sections. There's the commercial piece, the residential side, and then there's the campus side. And those three are supposed to, you do something to one, it's gonna affect everything else. So,
So I would suggest that you and, is it Matt,
Yeah.
figure that, how that works.
Yep.
And so something that we don't have to start from scratch to figure out how it works, is just gonna save you money at the end.
Yeah, yep, and that's our, we've already kind of been talking with him about the process of doing it. Like I said, this is just kind of a first step to let everyone know kind of what's coming down the road from us and to get any potential feedback.
So, maybe I missed it, but the 2 lots on G Avenue,
Yes.
what happened from the beginning plan, knowing what your intentions were for that lot? That-
Dramatic price increases, basically, as far as materials, labor. I mean, to get that sewer, I believe the sewer is down there past 13th, and it would have to run all the way up G Avenue, a significant distance.
So the main crux for that is the dramatic price increases. So I guess, I know you don't have a crystal ball, none of us do. I guess what I'd like to see when you come back is to take into account more dramatic price increases. I don't want future councils to have to continue amending the
Yeah,
developer's agreement
and
to,
that's,
to accommodate temporary economic conditions. Granted, this one's gonna be here for a while,
yeah,
but,
yeah, and that's, I mean, this,
but it's gonna ebb and flow
yeah.
through the future.
The whole development, I mean, from the first preliminary plat has completely, you know, it's morphed, it's changed to, you know, the builders wanted to go with, towards single-family homes because the market dictates that, and we can't really say, hey, if that's what you think you're gonna be able to build and sell, you know, and that's what the city needs and people want, we can't say, oh, no, we have to hold that back for, say, multifamily housing. Now, I think multifamily needs to play some sort of part into it. But, I mean, as an initial starting point up there, going down 13th, I think single family probably was the better fit.
Well, they seem to be sold already. So,
But our housing studies have indicated multifamily is also, and I still feel that we need multifamily. But
Yeah, and I think that's that portion along J Avenue, to the east side of J Avenue is geared towards the multifamily.
Again, I guess I'd just like, I mean, nobody can predict what the worst case scenario is, but man, I'd really like you to try and
Yep.
come
yeah,
back.
let's not go to the extreme of another 2020 COVID episode, but, you know, there are gonna be cost increase. We're at the new bottom now. Nobody's gonna lower the prices. That's just a fact, so.
Yep. Yeah,
We're just gonna level out for a little bit and then we're gonna start climbing again.
well, hopefully, I don't know, maybe with work slowing down for
You would think.
across, it seems like the only places spending money right now are schools, cities, banks, car washes.
The Hobart. I think we're amenable to seeing what you have to offer, I think.
Yep, and like I said, that's what we figured this was, you know, just a good starting point to let everyone know kind of our feelings about it and get any sort of feedback that any of the members have.
So the deadline is, it's still a ways off on a daily basis, but it's there.
Oh, yeah.
It's looming, so the faster we can
Yep,
hammer through some of
yeah, and
this.
that's, I mean, everything's a process.
Yeah.
Questions? Comments?
Sidewalks?
Sidewalks out there, how'd that end up? Yeah, we do not have sidewalks out there yet.
Supposedly they are getting ready to do them, but we're
Again, we
going
don't know
our,
how your agreement was,
we're
but
going our, I'm not gonna get into the argument
No,
about
that's
it.
another topic for
I
another
just,
day.
we just need sidewalks
Yep,
here.
You'll get sidewalks.
What else we need?
That's
Since
where
we
it's
got
good
into
to be
agreeable
us.
and everything right now.
Yeah, that's where it's good to be us, and we're like, that's between you two. We just
Yeah.
know what we required.
Yep. Yep. Oh, that's
We had all that in mind when we wrote that.
in the process of being handled.
Any more questions?
You guys
Anybody got
want
any more questions for him?